The blast at Red Fort in Delhi has shaken the conscience of India and the world, mainly because what we see are four doctors and physicians who are the prime suspects. How can physicians turn into terrorists? White collar terrorism. To explain the human behavior which could have led to this, I have with me Dr. Nimesh Desai. Namaskar, sir. He's a very famous psychologist, a psychiatrist, and former director of the Institute of Human Behavior and Allied Sciences in Delhi. His word on human behavior is considered very powerful. Thanks, sir. Dr. Desai, doctors are now suspects for this blast at the Red Fort. You yourself are a physician. What is your first reaction?
At one level, it's very painful. Surely, as a person, as an individual in the sphere of healing and helping, it's painful. One also understands that by common social logic, it can be very shocking. And yet, at some levels of the science of human behavior, it can be explained and understood, although no way condonable. I was just thinking, we all live with varying amounts of dissonance. I carry one idea about something, I say something else, I behave with a group, We may carry slightly different ideologies. Unfortunately, in extremes of abnormalities of human behavior, either mental illness like schizophrenia or personality disorders or like antisocial personality, or some of these extreme examples of criminal behavior, people learn to live with wide range of dissonance. So while in the daytime I am working as a doctor and a healer, my mind is in the rest of the time planning killing people. Now, by common sense, it will not seem easy to understand at all.
Killers?
Like one is healers as killers or protectors as tormentors. But like I said, at some levels it's understandable. How do we understand this in terms of their own behavior or environment around? It would seem to me also that this is not really cases of schizophrenia like in mental disorders or dissociation, nor even antisocial personality disorder, but this is that interface between the science of mental health, religion and fanaticism involved with it, and criminology. So it's a very strange mix of extreme thought process that person learns to live with. And of course, indoctrination makes a lot of difference.
How do you think they got so radicalized that a person who's trained an MBBS doctor working in a medical college suddenly turns into a person who can be a killing machine?
Now, what you said in passing also is relevant here. See, like we know, in communications model or in public health model, there is the recipient, there is the message, and there is the message provider. So unfortunately, the terrorist groups also seem to have learned in last few years to change their strategy towards white collar, handlers. And so those in these such professions who are vulnerable psychologically, vulnerable especially to extremism of thought, that's what they catch on to. I must say that without doubt, in the religions and thought processes known, some are more prone to this extreme thought than the others. For example, as you and I both know, in Hinduism, which is indeed a way of life besides being a religion, extreme positions like this would be almost inconceivable. In some religions, there is more of a propensity for individuals to become like this. And the trainers, indoctrination that happens in madrasas or by the extreme ideologues, that carries its weight if I'm vulnerable.
So you think there's some role to be played by the Islam as a religion which talks of such ideologies?
With all respect to all religions, including Islam, yes, that's a reasonable thought to have. as much as we have seen in last 36 or 48 hours, there are people practicing Islam who completely abhor this and disapprove. So there are people who don't subscribe to this, and yet there are people who do. In history, like we were saying, the only example that fortunately one finds is way back 80 years ago in the Second World War, when the physicians and psychiatrists included participated in the Holocaust. The positive part of it, and I'd like to see that being applied here, the positive part is that the entire code of bioethics emerged after the World War. So one hopes that there'll be a more vigilant, appropriate code of ethics emerging, one. And two, the society will hopefully see this only as an aberration, a rare abnormality rather than a norm. Because as we all know, the level of trust between the society and medical doctors is already becoming a little less positive. Now we don't want such incidents to worsen that sacrosanct relationship between the society and medical doctors.
Is there some way the government or the society can be more vigilant that we don't have healers turning killers?
Sure, I guess vigilance, and protection of privacy. Vigilance on behalf of the state or society and privacy is an eternal debate that will now again turn a little more. None of us would want the Orwellian reality, and yet we'll all have to accept, like we have had to do, some amount of monitoring, from traffic behavior to CCTVs to your thought processes.
So is it an aberration?
I surely would believe so, and evidence till now would suggest that this is only an aberration. In scientific terms, as you know better than all of us, the log normal distribution will apply. So it is those extremes at the two ends of the graph that we are now seeing the result of. Majority of the people, and certainly not largest majority of the doctors, would ever think of being this.
Did it pain you?
Yes, very much. Like I said, my first reaction was of a very deep pain and say, is this what we are now going to see? As many of us, thousands and millions who have spent a lifetime trying to heal and help people, that thought of healers anybody becoming a killer, a planned killer, is a disheartening thought. But healers becoming killers is very painful. And yet, one of the rare realities of human behavior, aberration.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Nimesh Desai. This incident has caused a lot of pain to me also.
Yes, it is.
And to a lot of Indian citizens and the world across, because I sincerely hope it is an aberration, and it becomes they are caught and they are punished, and things are taken to the logical end, and this should be the end of this wildly difficult phase which we are going through.
Right.
Always so much to learn from you, Dr. Desai, on human behavior. There isn't a better person to explain the complexities of human behavior than you, and I have learned so much in the past and so also today. And healers becoming killers is a very difficult fact to fathom.
Very unfortunate reality.
Yes. So that was Dr. Nimesh Desai, a psychiatrist, telling us how this incident at the Red Fort, where physicians and doctors are the prime suspects, is hopefully an aberration, and there should be lessons for the society to be more vigilant to make sure it doesn't happen again. In New Delhi, Pallav Bagla for NDTV.